it's that I don't know. I'm bad about that. I end up procrastinating and not, renewing my membership until the last minute. But
Uh-huh.
we're going to compete and then hopefully try to qualify for nationals and do that probably sometime. The meet would be in September. Nationals for USPA are usually hosted like June, July, so it would be
Okay.
quite a lengthy, training period leading up to that.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember. So Cody Shreve,
Hmm.
I talk to him fairly regularly. I know he's looking to make that jump from like local meets to like national and higher level meets as well. Is that something that like you two have talked about to do together, or is that just coincidence that both you guys are looking to move up at the same time?
No, it absolutely it was talked about. So we realized that we're strong enough, right? I mean, we're strong enough to qualify, so it's like, well, you're strong enough to go compete, so you should do it, because it's experience. Whether you take your licks or you come out better than you thought, it's a story to tell, and it's a different atmosphere, because local meets, move at a different pace, and it's a different kind of environment in the warm up room and things like that. So it's a challenge to be had, an experience to be had, and also like Cody, he has a good chance at doing very well. And same thing with my brother. Myself, it's a little bit more of a long shot, but again, I'm up to the challenge because for me, I always perform better with some kind of goal, especially if I'm already signed up, committed to it. Which kind of
Yeah.
sounds bad. You should be motivated enough to train without a goal, but definitely looking forward to trying to move up and achieve something better, really lights the fire.
Yeah, and well, I'll push back a little bit, and I'm almost like pushing back against the point you just made, but for
Yeah,
what you're doing, um, I will
yeah.
say like having met a bunch of people in the sport and like high level lifters, etc. There are some people who are extremely motivated by competing, and there's some people who are extremely motivated by training. Um, and both of those are totally okay. Like you're saying, a competition and having the goal of like getting to compete against people is what drives you, right?
Well, kind of more like if I know I have a competition coming up, like knowing I have that test or display of my strength drives me like to
Okay.
show up
Yeah.
essentially more. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
But
I'm kind of, I mean, I'm very similar in that once I have the set goal, I'm like, okay, this is what everything's being funneled towards. Whereas, like,
yeah,
there are
basically.
times where you're like kind of lost in limbo if you don't have a next thing.
Mhm. That's me. I just
And
find it hard to maybe push as hard because like obviously when I'm in the off season, I'm not hitting, typically heavy doubles or things like that. So it's like I don't know, it gets me back on track and start, working towards a peaking block and working towards, that peak of strength. And it's also very exciting, especially when I've been on like a long layoff or training just volume work for a long time. It's also, I guess that drives me also is the excitement of um just that the ramp up because it just is so crazy. Like when you go through, your first peak or a couple of them, and just feeling your body responding to training is also kind of exciting for me. Like as you're doing it, it's kind of surreal because you trust the process, like everybody says, and you don't. Maybe you have questions at first, but then it works. Like it, if you do your homework and work hard. So that's exciting.
yeah, yeah, and I will say you've always seemed very cerebral about your training. Like you're cognizant about being on a program and trusting the process, like you said. So hopefully that's something like viewers can take away, being patient. Because I'm trying to think